Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We have episode 34 today with an awesome band. I'm actually just excited because I'm actually just a fan. And I've only gotten to see you guys twice, so this is really exciting. But today we have Sam and Brayan from Lemonade Stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. That's honestly what I was excited for today because I've only caught you twice.
When was the first time?
First time was at the Katinga show. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if I could was gonna be able to make that one, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to see what this is about. And I showed up, I think, right as you were starting your set,
Nice.
and I was so I was able to catch the whole thing. But that's really cool. What style would you consider yourselves? I know genre. I hate genre talk, so I'm not gonna talk that. But what I guess what kind of is the kind of musicality you try to go after?
Man,
Is that my phone? What the fuck is it?
I accidentally hit my knee against something, and it started right when that happened.
T-Pain?
Dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, we really dig T-Pain.
What the fuck
Dude,
is
yeah,
happening?
we're actually just a T-Pain cover band.
That is hilarious. What the fuck just happened? Damn, my TV's horny. What the shit? Just started playing I'm Sprung by T-Pain. What the fuck?
God damn.
All right, yeah.
That's a good way to start.
Anyways, yeah. So not you're not going for the T-Pain.
Not for the not.
It's a little different, I would
not
say.
in this universe.
Not yet.
There's another universe somewhere
Where
where
you-
Lemonade
yeah,
Stand
where-
is
yeah,
the
where-
T-Pain cover band.
Yeah.
Man, all of the every time somebody asks me what kind of music we play, I have no idea what to tell them.
Yeah.
Genuinely. We have influences from every genre. I would say mostly jazz and math rock, and just indie rock. Honestly, we don't really write with a specific sound in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we write something new.
Oh my gosh. He is gonna be a problem. Zenny.
Every time we write something new, it just kind of it's whatever comes naturally.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. Sometimes we'll have an idea in mind for what we would like it to sound like, but it's usually based on what everybody's been listening to. So
gotcha.
If Brian's been listening to a lot of jazz, a lot of Jocko, a lot of Weather Report, stuff like that, he's going to come in with some really jazzy stuff. If Alex has been listening to a lot of math rock, he's going to come in with some really technical Chon or Polyphia style stuff.
Yeah.
And so it happens that way with everybody.
Kind of bounces around with it,
Yeah.
which is great. It's one of the great things about a collaborative effort with bands who everyone can write, because everybody has their own separate influences and they just bring into it. You guys just manage to combine it, which can be hard though, depending on
a little bit,
with everybody, because that's the one thing I remember just in being a band is everyone has a lot of different influences, but getting together to write a song actually together is kind of tough sometimes. But the stuff that I've heard only live, unfortunately, because right now you guys don't have anything out currently.
Correct.
But sound, I like the switch ups and everything. That's one of the things I'm a real big fan in, just music in general. I love when something gets thrown off. I can't remember. I think I like when I think it's Last Cigarette that you guys play, and then it speeds up at one point and just gets a little bit faster beat, but in the middle of it being very soft kind of, and I truly enjoy that. But you have Sam, you have a really I guess you would consider kind of a crooner voice
That's not the first time I've been told that.
Yeah.
So Nick Rude, we did some video interview stuff with him and K&D Productions. And he mentioned something like that when we were at what studio?
It was Arlington.
We were at a studio in Arlington.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember the name of it, but yeah.
Anyway.
So in Arlington.
In Arlington.
Yeah.
And he asked me what some of my influences were, and through that we kind of got to the fact that it is kind of crooner style, and that just comes from listening to a lot of old music growing up. I mean, both my parents are white, kind of from the boomer era. So I listened to a lot of country, but also a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
You got all the classic crooners. So that's what influenced it and brought it up. But then I was also just in choir from probably the age of 4 or 5 in church, all the way through high school. So I just had time classically training. I say classically training. It was a bunch of shit, but
but still learning that way.
Right. Just the very mouth open technique, to really enunciate the words, and so that's kind of just stuck with me unintentionally.
Yeah. No, I mean that definitely shines through, and it like combines very well with like the type of music that you play, and it makes it very. Because some of your songs, like, because I think like on one of those songs, you're like, oh, like. Grab your like person and like dance. And and I'm like, oh, that's exactly like what like you're singing, and along with the music, like kind of inspires that to me. It's like, yeah, like like that's what I want to do. Like I'm gonna grab almost grab some random person, just like, hey, can you pretend like for a second?
Please, just dance with me, please.
Just dance with me for a second, all right? But that's really cool. What about like, how long has the band been around?
Well, so. Like it's been, we've had like a little bit of switch around with some of the members, mainly the drummer, but for the better part of like 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay.
And with Sam, probably, actually 3 years, and with Sam probably like a good 2.5.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like about around that time.
Everybody else though? Like,
yeah.
Been members since. Oh, okay.
I joined in October, November of 2019.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that would put us about 2.5.
You kind of sneak your way in there.
A little bit, yeah. Gabe, one of our guitarists, I called him because we've been close for a lot of years, and he said that he was playing in this band with Brayan and Alex, and we all went to high school together.
Okay, cool.
So we were all familiar with each other. Gabe and Alex and I were all in just marching band and classical or concert band, and then Brayan was a part of the CAM, the Contemporary Academy of Music, at our high school. And so we were all kind of around each other, and so when I heard everybody's names, I was like, yeah, man, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
But they had already had somebody drumming for them, and so like every time he would talk about it, I was like, hey, if you guys ever need a different drummer, let me know.
But can that drummer also sing? Like,
right.
I'm just saying.
So like that's like a really good point, because, or like I can segue into, because like, like. I knew about Sam, but like the idea of like bringing somebody else, I was like, I don't know how I felt about it. But I was thinking about this on the way here as well. I was like, Sam has always felt like really like just solid. Like even from day one, and maybe like rehearsed, we already had some like pre-made songs, and where we just like, this is tempo, this is kind of like what we're thinking. Let's just play it, and like immediately felt super like, just every part that you played felt super like purposeful. It felt like you had been practicing it. So. We never had an issue with like feeling weird. Like we all immediately clicked, and the music was like right there from the start, in my opinion at least.
Yeah. That's really cool, because one of the like biggest parts of bands and like actually working together is chemistry.
Yeah,
like, I've heard you talk about this in some of the other episodes.
It's I bring it up so much because when you think about it. And it's just because like I went through like a few member changes like with the band that I had, and like just thinking about the process of like wanting to change a member, I'm like, how is it gonna work? Like it took forever like to gather this group of people. Like how is someone? And I've just like been lucky in that aspect, which people that ended up joining ended up like becoming like my best friends. But then I ran into other bands where like they don't hang out together like and that was always a thing that didn't seem important from the outside, but it allows you to understand each other a little bit better, kind of understand the way you write music together. But from like just from the outside in, like I love like the dynamic that you guys have with each other. It's really playful on stage too. Like I love that. The jokes between like the sets is something that's like really relatable to me, because like that's my default that I go into whenever, and I used to play in a metal band, so like in between I'd be like my revert wasn't to like stay angry or be like in this like mode. I'd like start like just saying jokes and like trying to make people laugh, because that's like what I default to. So like that, but that's really fun, and like it shows that like all you guys kind of just like enjoy just hanging out together, which I've learned that is one of the things that I find really appealing in live music is like the band's like dynamic with each other.
Like if they're invested with each other, then the crowd will be invested with them, and that's not always like hand in hand. It doesn't have to be there, but it establishes like, hey, we have an emotional connection. Like you guys can also connect with us, even if it's from a little bit of a distance.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing that I really enjoy. And you're right, it doesn't happen with like everybody, and that doesn't always take away from like the performance or the band itself. But it's one of the things I've become a really big fan of like in the past like few years. It's like being able to see that and see that dynamic work with just like the members in the group. Like, it basically, like, if you guys look like you're having fun, like, I'm going to have fun too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're having fun together in the same spot.
Absolutely.
But the exciting stuff is I hear that you guys have been recording.
Yes.
Yes. How is that?
It's been a kind of a long process.
Yeah.
We've kind of been, I don't want to say struggle. It's just been it's the thing that we've been kind of putting in the past, or putting in our back pocket, but we are for sure going to release something next month. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Sam, just looking.
Moma's not here, so we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Secret. No, yeah, it definitely was a struggle, and most of that I would say is because of financial reasons.
Yeah.
Our guitarist Gabe, he went to recording academy in Carrollton. So our first, the two singles that we were releasing in June, we recorded them there, and the drum takes were good enough to keep, but we had to re-record pretty much everything else over. And we didn't actually have time to record vocals in that session because it was free.
Yeah.
So how it was set up was the mentor, I think his name is Rick, he had a couple of students in the studio. So it was basically like a teaching moment for them, and they were all learning how to do it. And he was still controlling this the set. But yeah, it just because of the timing, it was difficult. So we've been like, oh, we'll release it in January. Oh, we'll release it in March.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll release it in May. And it always ends up happening the way it needs to. So we've just kind of had to take that in stride and realize that it's not the end of the world that it's not out right now. And maybe we can play it to our advantage to where it'll be more exciting or more hype, or we can get people on board with us before we actually release it, so then we have some sort of small following by the time we put it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, releasing music is a weird concept, and like how rolling it out is important.
Yeah.
Like now, like the way, how are you just putting out music? Like how is it being promoted? Like you're right. Like do I have a following who's actually gonna listen to this stuff that I put out? You know what I mean? Or how am I gonna get people to put out? But the financial aspect is always like a tough one, just because it's expensive, it's time consuming. These parts have to be like rehearsed crazy amounts of times to like have your takes the way you'd like, and then also that just getting to a product that you actually like a song that you actually like. I'm satisfied with the way it is. And if like most every musician is gonna be like you hear your mistakes as loud as like you're the only like I mean the band itself will notice like those mistakes. Outside crowd might not, but it's hard to balance that out. It's hard for you to get like it's like let's go ahead and put this out when you're like no, like it can be
there's always something that can be fixed, and so you just kind of have to set that to the side and like if you're releasing your own solo stuff, you have the ability to be a perfectionist, but with a group, especially when you want it to sound like a live recording, like you're all doing it in the same room, which I wish that we could do, but just because of the way it went, it didn't happen like that. But you have to kind of be okay with some of those things not being perfect.
And I mean the cool thing I've noticed with like artists and just like people reflecting back, they're like, oh, like some people will fall in love with like a song, a recording, and then the artist is like, oh, like it has so many mess ups and like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and because you let it go and put it out in something, it's still somebody's favorite song now. You know what I mean? You hear the instrumentality and like how it's like, hey, it's not exactly the way it should have been, but like, you know, once I let it go, like people decide like what it's gonna sound like to them, and I've like realized that with listening to bands that I really like, and the recordings just being hot garbage, but I love these songs. You know what I mean? Like, I love those songs, and I'm like, these are so good. Like, if you would have waited, would these even have came out? You know, that's one thing. Like, my roommate DJ who runs NoiseROT with me, he's been working on his solo stuff for years, and like he's always like, I want to put this out. I'm like, put it out then. Like you've been working on it
do
for
it.
a really long time. It's like,
Yeah.
just do it. I go, just do one. I go, do one, and you can keep working on stuff like later. Like if you want to revisit it, like you can. I go, but at a certain point, like you just have to just release it, see what people like, see what you feel like, and then move on from there, kind of thing. But so you guys have been a band for 3 years, 2.5 with Sam here. How long have you recently just started playing shows again, or have you guys like played throughout? I know like 2019 like didn't give you a lot of time to really play live.
Right.
It's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Like I think probably maybe like a year after we were like starting to be more an integral brand, like band together. I think we just started gigging, and it's been like pretty consistent. It's maybe like slowed down a little bit with like winter and some of the seasons, but it's been for the better part of 1.5 year.
Yeah, so timeline from me starting with Lemonade Stand in October of 2019. We didn't even have a name for the band.
That is right. We did not.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
We started rehearsing in my garage, and it was fucking awful. It was hot. And
I was gonna hit the hot
or
garage.
cold
Yeah.
as.
Fucking shout out to Standish though.
Yeah, we almost made our band name Lemonade Standish because it lived on a road called Standish.
Lemonade Standish.
Anyways, but then March of 2020, obviously shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Quarantine started. We didn't rehearse for probably 4 months.
I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then shows didn't start back up until probably, if late 2020. Not until really 2021. So we actually played a couple of house shows at Alex's house.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the it was like in his backyard.
Yep.
And then
There was
for
like 6
Halloween-
people.
Yeah.
Great.
That was our first
Sounds
show
like-
all together. We played
Yep.
in his backyard for like 6 people. And then the next one was Halloween.
Yeah.
We played a Halloween night, and that was a really cool show. It was just us, but it was a really cool show because it's like there was a bunch of just kids and shit, like driving by. So we got like a pretty good crowd, kind of. People
with like actual like trick or
Yeah,
treaters.
people would
and
like
shit?
We were in the
stay-
front yard.
Yeah.
So
Oh, fucking nice.
people were just walking up and they'd like sit for a second and then they'd keep moving. So it was pretty fun.
And then like the neighbors like gave us a bunch of like, because I think the neighbor was like also a musician. So he had like smoke machine, like little like
What?
yeah, it was really dope.
That's fucking
It was really
awesome.
fucking cool. It was really fucking cool night. That was like, I kind of cherished that moment. Like
Yeah,
it was
that feels like the real start
Yeah.
of our career
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
musicians, as
Yeah.
it were.
That should be like an annual thing. You should literally.
Well, we
should,
tried
like,
to do it last year, but I was out of town last year.
no.
But we are planning on doing it again this
That'd
year.
be great.
Yeah.
Like that, honestly, would be fantastic. Just to keep that tradition.
dude,
going.
that'd be
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
especially like in his front yard. And I remember we also had like, so we played on the like the concrete, and there was like we also had like a couple of friends and people we knew, and like just the front yard. So there's like, not only were there a bunch of people in like the grass, but there was also like a bunch of people like walking by. It was like I said, it was just, it's kind of hard to explain the moment of like the situation, but it was just like a really great night. Like we played a pretty decent set for where we were at. Like it was just a really fun night.
Yeah,
Great night.
it's funny, but like those are sometimes the shows that you remember are just like the ones that like just felt nice, because there's shows that like that you play and you're kind of like the ones that you're really tough on yourself on. It's like, oh, I didn't play better, or you're worried about like circumstantial stuff about the actual like, oh, like stuff isn't going the way we need to, like this isn't ready, blah blah blah, anything like that. But then you just have like nice moments where I'm like, I don't know how we played, but it was fun. You know what I mean? Like I've had plenty of those moments. I know I can guarantee that this set that we played, it was a house show we played in the backyard. I'm guarantee that we didn't play well. Like, but the thing that happens, like during one of our little like breakdowns, a police car comes through the alley, and like as soon as like the little breakdown hits, like he flashes on his lights.
Nice.
So we get like a little moment where I'm just like, I don't know where like the courage came from, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about those cops. Like we're doing this shit again. But again, like I just remember like stuff like that. Like I have a friend who played a set at a bowling alley, and like that's he's like, yeah, that's one of my favorite sets, because there's a picture, and I feel like this picture is fucking gonna go in a history book someday. But it's them playing like it was like thrash metal that they played, and there's a tiny little kid, and he's just like covering his ears, and there's a picture of it, and I'm like, that is fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that's one of my favorite shows. And it's just like circumstances, like what like did it feel like awesome?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the things that you guys are looking forward to, like with the band, like maybe like touring or playing somewhere specific?
I'll let you figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every musician's dream is to tour at some point. I have gone back and forth on like whether or not we want to make it big or like make it to where it'll be our source of income or anything like that. I mean, obviously that would be ideal, but I'm in it for just making the music and hanging out with the homies because it's just a good time. But touring would be fucking awesome. I have a lot of coworkers. I work at a screen printing shop, making t-shirts. I have a lot of coworkers that have been on touring bands, and just the stories that they have and the times that they remember from it. They sound fucking rad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's definitely one of our dreams. Being able to take a month off of work and just go dick around in a van and play music every once in a while.
Yeah. Hey.
We're in session.
Another thing that I mean, this is going to be kind of an integral part of what our future looks like. It's kind of a quiet thing, so I have no details about it. We have a meeting with Smith Music tomorrow.
Yes.
It's a record label based out of Fort Worth. People like Lou Charles. I know Cutthroat Finches was in talkings with him. I don't know if they ever actually ended up being on their label, but very well-known country label, actually, because they do a lot of stuff for Billy Bob's. But... oh my god.
I want to have that good of a time.
Our manager worked at a coffee shop where this guy would come in every day and get coffee every morning, and they found out that he worked for Smith Music, and just some back and forth happened. He found out that she was a manager for a band, and so we have this meeting set up with him tomorrow, and I have no idea what to expect. Like, he hasn't even heard any of our music, but something that could be exciting, something that could bring...
Something.
Just something. yeah. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen with that. So
even if it's just like that connection, because you're right, like it's a lot of talent and making like great music, but it's also like these coincidences and like strikes of luck where you're like just met this person like randomly, and now it's like, oh, let's meet him, and even if that's just a connection, he said. To lead you to like other things, like it's just people you meet. It's kind of weird, I bring this up a lot, but like that's like the networking aspect of stuff is literally just talking to people, and that's exciting as hell. Like that's super exciting. Like I said, for whatever it may bring, like that's still a glimpse into like something that you maybe didn't know about. You know what I mean? Like labels and stuff like that. That's something like I would be like. A little like, that's out of my realm or something like that. I don't know how to figure this out. But like having a talk will introduce you like, oh, this is the kind of stuff that they bring up. Like, oh, this is maybe I want to know about this a little bit more. But that's super freaking exciting.
The big thing is just if we come out of it with more knowledge than we had before, and that's the only thing, that's still a win.
Very true.
And if we know how to talk to another label in the future because of verbiage that this guy used, then that's a win. We're excited.
I did want to add a little bit to what you said earlier, because it's something I've thought a lot about. I mean, I think to just restate, like I think for the most part every musician wants to make it big and like live off of their music, because it's a cool thing to do. But it's always been kind of an interesting like topic to like think to myself and even like think out loud as to like what is the future of it, because we're just a couple of kids who happen to have met in high school and we're just playing music now.
Hey,
hello,
Teddy. Ruining a nice moment here.
Oh man. But it's really hard. I know I can't remember when you said this exactly, but Sam had mentioned something about like. What was like the? He does not want to let me answer anything. I will say I'm like slightly allergic to cats, so if I start sneezing stuff, you mentioned something about how like you just want to play some sick ass like house shows, and that really like I don't know, it resonated a lot with me, because it just made me like like really living for the small moments like means a lot. It seems like we're picking a little bit of traction up, and it feels really good to be able to play like
bigger shows.
Bigger shows, but not even just like bigger shows, but like just a smaller crowd and a more compact place. I don't know, like playing house shows sounds really good. We played a really good house show for UT Arlington, and it was like the best show we've ever played. It was like this. It was a pretty big crowd, but everybody was super like. It was intimate. It was really good, but
like flashlights and lighters in the air kind of shit.
Oh, gotcha.
I asked. I was like, "Hey, we've never had this done for us before. Can you please do it?" Everybody did.
Yeah,
there was like
really
55 or 60 like flashlights and lighters up at us, and it's just a good feeling.
That's those small intimate shows. Like I'm like such a big fan of those. Like I've looked at the and like it's weird. Like now. Being part of like a company that like does booking and stuff, I'm looking for those places. Like I just went to a band called Trauma Ray released.
We printed their T-shirts.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh dope!
Yeah.
I fucking love the little logo. It's all metal. But they played the Double Wide in Dallas, and it's a super small venue, but they like packed this place out. Which something about just being in a packed crowd makes people just want to like wild out, and I'm like I'm a fan of that. I'm like, you know what? Like I don't care like how big this venue is. Like if you can pack it out, like that's gonna be a great time because the crowd like. A good crowd will make you just even more energized to like play really well and make those nights memorable because that's crowd participation is just great. Like
that's what makes the shows fun.
Yeah.
I mean, playing well is a satisfying moment for sure, but as much as it sucks to admit it, like it feels good to be praised. Like it feels good to have people be hype about your music. And so those smaller shows are where it feels good because first of all, you're not 4 feet above everybody else.
True, yeah.
You're at eye level. You can look at them and you're all sweating.
Like you guys are what I'm doing.
If we weren't playing music, everybody would be having a terrible time because it's so hot and it's so crowded. But because that's happening, everyone's so excited about it.
That is true. Everyone's okay with being sweaty, like as long as like they're being entertained. Like it's fine. But yeah, like it's not like it feels kind of weird to say sometimes. Like like I want like that. It's one of the weird things where you get that instant gratification like immediately. Like if you're playing, and yes, it does go the other way. You know what I mean? Like where you play and like people are just like. Like, okay, like how do I handle this? And you handle it by just keep playing exactly the way you would play to any like the crowd that would be participating in it. Like you just gotta give it your all. Have you guys ever ran into any of those?
Yes, when we played at Dr. Jekyll's, it was like every other band was like super metal, and we were just like playing like So we that was probably a couple months ago. I don't remember exactly what the time period was, but we played. I don't remember the exact details on top of my head, but it was just like everybody was like. I remember coming in and there was just like hardcore people were like
every band was a headbang.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They were like screamo, like and then we play and we're just like these like. I mean, we're not like we're not an indie band, but like we're just like these like
dinky little dudes.
Yeah. And I remember like what was really funny about that was like because we knew that we weren't gonna play as like hard as them, so we were just like we might not be as hard as you guys, but we're definitely hard, and everybody was like.
What was the exact quote?
I don't remember what you exactly said, but
our music's not hard, but we are.
And I remember like it was such a it was so funny because like we were just like fuck it, we're gonna play a good show. I think we played a really good show, but it was one of those like where the crowd definitely wasn't. I mean, there's some people like dancing, but you could definitely tell there's a big
difference. It's like a disconnect.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
That's fun. God, that line is fucking perfect.
I remember like we were like we thought we would be cool and be like, nah, let's just like go up there and play because that's cool. Like that's so cool. And then we're like, nope.
We just made everything awkward.
Yeah. It's whatever. Like it'll happen. But you guys played a good set. That's one thing that's cool that I've ran into like with mixed genre sets. That's one of the things that kind of we've kind of founded the podcast on was a festival that we threw a while back, but the last one we threw was back in August. But it's called Chill Sounds and Breakdowns, and like the whole theme of it was like we want to bring people who wouldn't normally go to the same show together. So that we had like some indie acoustic acts, some hard metal, some like rap was like played. Like we just try to make it as mixed as possible. And the cool thing is that the crowd stayed the same size throughout the entire night.
Yeah,
like nobody was
that's
like,
so cool.
oh, I'm not listening to this. Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we kept it scattered. So we're like, we kind of planned it. So like, oh, if you wanted to hear another like indie artist, you had to wait like
Right.
for these to. I'm like, and I want that to happen, which is, and it brought a lot of cool people together. And I saw this happen for the first time, executed well as this. I don't think it's there anymore, but it was downtown Fort Worth. It's the Red Goose Saloon. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
upstairs.
Mhm.
I think it was called Fort Worth Live at the time, but the company that my that DJ used to work for threw a show there. It was all mixed bill, just like that. And the place was packed out. Everybody like stayed for every one of those groups. It was kind of varied in genres, and it was like fantastic to watch. And I'm like, I want to do that. And,
Yeah.
And DJ was like, pretty much the same idea. I was like, yeah, I want to do that, but bigger. Like, how do
Yeah.
we like stretch it as much? And that's what like the next year, it should be. Well, this year should be even kind of more spread apart the genres and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's
Just
like,
really bridge the gap between.
pretty much, yeah. I
Cool.
definitely wanted to make it like that. But I mean, there are instances where it doesn't pan out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, I guess we'll just roll with the punches kind of thing.
While we're on this topic, I was talking about this with my boss the other day. Actually, he was in a touring band called Terminal when he was 17.
Okay.
So he was traveling the whole country, like 16, 17, 18. They may have even done 3 tours. I don't remember. But I was talking to him. I was like, it sounds like we'd gone to a Bon Iver concert. And I was like, the opening artist just sounds like Bon Iver music opening for Bon Iver.
Gotcha.
And so, like, financially, that makes sense because all the people who like this person are gonna like Bon Iver and vice versa. And so it's annoying that everything is so financially motivated.
Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to get more people to come out, get more ticket sales, which I can't blame anybody for because you have to make money in order to do this for a living.
Yeah.
But I love those mixed bill sets where, like the Katinga show that we played.
Yeah.
That was
That was cool because we're like the indie funk, jazz, math rock group, and then Aiden Trammell comes out and he's pretty true indie rock,
Yeah.
and then Katinga comes out and they're
completely.
yeah,
like,
they're
different.
totally
Yeah.
different. I don't even know what to call this.
Yeah.
Just like synthy vibe.
Synthy soul pop or something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are the most fun shows.
Yeah, because and the thing is, most people listen to music that way. Like
Yeah.
that's just it's literally a phrase like I keep saying over and over. I'm like, look at what you listen to, and there you have some moments where it's just radically apart, like of what different stuff you. It's like why
Yeah.
can't the show be the same way? You know what I mean? Like the show be the same way to can appeal to like a bunch of different of your like spectrum of like music that you love. So which once I like looked at it that way, I'm like, that makes sense. Like why wouldn't you have like more mixed things? Even if you just bridge off a little bit, like to where one thing's like, oh, that's not the
Yeah.
same, but it's different. Also, like you were saying, like it's that concert sounded like it was just the same music opening up for like the
Right,
same
we just
kinda
had 2
thing.
hours of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of where you like run into like some music and albums where like I don't know when the song ended and when like,
Right.
because they're all like the same kind of thing. But it's cool, and like I'm not hating on those shows; they make sense. You know what I mean? Like again, you're right. Like if you go, it's like, oh, you'll probably enjoy this artist. But there's a little leeway you have on that to stretch it a little bit further and be like, you know what? If you like, this section of this like song, like you might like this band. You might have something to appeal. But
Get like a Spotify algorithm.
it's
going
just kind of
in real
it's
life.
pretty much like what you have to do, and like we're for the next one, like we're doing, like we're limiting. I think it's only going to be like two artists or bands that have like similar genres.
Cool.
And then
Okay.
every pair will have it. We shouldn't be more than 2 bands that like sound the
Nice.
same. Or groups in general. So but it's exactly like how people listen to music. So it just makes sense to like go to those every now and again. And again, it's a way for even you, if you wouldn't normally go to those shows, to find something you might not have listened to if you had just like gone to like strictly like your indie shows, indie rock, or like metal shows. Like, and that's, I feel like that bleeds into like writing music, because as far as influences go, you probably take from like everywhere and just put it into, okay, we're playing this type of music, but I got this from you know, like I'm playing indie music, but I heard this vocal like run in like a metal song over here, and like I'll just use that one part and you bring it into this. Because one thing I always realized when I was writing in a metal band, I'm like, I don't listen to metal to write to metal. Like I was taking it from everyone else. I like the funny thing is, when I joined the metal band, I just wanted to sing. Like I literally just wanted to sing, but they wanted somebody to scream. I'm like, if I can learn how to scream, like I can pepper in some singing here and there, and then and eventually like it bled more and more through, and that's because that's what I wanted to do. But I feel like that's a big thing that comes into writing is being able to have that diversity in listening. Yeah. Plus, like exposing yourself to all those other artists and types of music again just make you and tell a better artist. Yeah. So I think that's something that you guys handle really well based on like the different parts that I've always heard like being played. It looks like all of you kind of incorporate a lot of different like influences into like your songs put together, and I truly enjoy that.
Thank you.
But you're welcome.
Thanks.
I wanted to bring up the freaking what was the last thing you guys played? The West Main Street Arts.
Oh, West
Festival.
Main.
Main Spain.
Oh my gosh, that what was that band? Like why was
like a violent band?
That was so good.
Yeah,
they were like competing with us.
They were loud.
It was kind of fun. It was a little distracting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just before we would start a song, I'm like, man, I have no fucking clue what we're supposed to play next or how it starts or anything. Yeah. And after I hear a couple of notes, it kind of gets going. But yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, that is very interesting. They're choosing to rehearse like right now, and the stage is like directly pointed at like your guys' stage. But that like again like what I saw part of that, but from like just someone who went, I'm like, that shit sounds great. Like I was having a great time. You know, freaking piano was great. Like,
I don't know where the pinatas came from. They had.
Oh, no, I thought you guys brought those.
No, they were just there.
Yeah, Chef D, who played before us, there was a pinata up for like his last song, and he had some kids coming up, and he was like saying all their names and like, oh, she's doing great. Look at her like hitting the pinata, like trying to make it uplifting. And it was funny. I was like, oh man, I don't wonder where this pinata came from. And then they started setting it up while we were getting ready. And I was like, oh, I guess
we have a pinata.
I totally thought that was part of it.
Yeah. No, not planned by us.
That was funny.
And we might have to incorporate it from now on.
From now on, that might make sense. I started laughing though when it's like, we're not finishing this song.
I was like, I'm not gonna fucking stop.
And that pinata was fucking like invincible, man.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Even like. So I was the last one to go up, and I still didn't break it.
Really?
It just ripped off the string and like launched off. And I'm like, we're gonna count that, but the legs were still like on it. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what we're gonna call like it breaking.
Yeah. Well, thank you for participating in the
yeah. I was like, I'm waiting for them to ask.
Did you get to keep it?
No, the kids ran after it. By kids, I mean
all the
grown
adults.
Yeah. That shit was fun though. That's just pretty fun. What was I gonna say? So you guys are recording. You're gonna release stuff, hopefully next month.
We do have a show planned for our release party.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on June 25th. That's a Saturday at Caves Lounge in Arlington.
June 25th.
Yeah.
Caves.
Caves
in Arlington.
Yeah. We love that venue. We had some really good
venue.
shows there. I don't know if it was our first show at Caves, but my favorite show at Caves was for Cherry Mantis's
that was our
EP
first time.
release party.
Yeah.
And it was us and then Nautilus.
My God.
Then Cherry Mantis. So that was a fucking rad
Holy
show.
fuck, that's a badass show.
Yeah.
But for our show, I feel like it's similarly badass. We've got Yasmin music opening up.
Okay.
And then Fanamello.
Holy shit.
And then we're gonna close out.
Fanamello is so fucking
We got some
sick.
pretty cool stuff planned for that. We're gonna do 2 covers of 2 songs that are pretty bumping right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. I think it'll make for a good show. But yeah, that was our first time. I remember that show was like really significant for me because that felt like a really big jump in like up in talent that we had played with.
Mm-hmm.
We had played some pretty good bands before, but like I don't know, like Nautilus and Cherry were just like a pretty big bump. And I was like really nervous about it. And on top of that, like that same day, I had to leave to go to Oklahoma to like go on holiday with some friends.
Yeah.
So I was like rushing, and I remember we played.
Like after you played?
Yeah, like literally right after I played, I like
fuck?
started getting on the road. But I remember I was like really nervous, and we played a really fucking good show. Like it was like probably top 5 best shows, and the crowd was really good. Like it was a good turnout. It was a good show in general.
The thing that I will always remember about that show is at caves they always have movies playing in the background.
Oh, they do.
And they had fucking noodle hentai.
What the fuck? Hold on.
In the corner
up,
on
like,
the small TV to the right of this.
hentai?
I don't. This is the first instance I've ever seen with it. It's like
Wait, is that
huge
what that's
anime
called?
tits, and then there was like ramen noodles going in between the.
Is that what that was? I just remember seeing like just tits.
Yeah. It was.
I didn't see the noodles.
What noodles? What are you talking about?
What?
Yeah, but my parents were at that show.
Oh no!
My girlfriend's parents were at that
Were they
show.
really?
And so every time after we played,
my God.
every time I would look to see what my dad was doing, he just like had his eyebrows furrowed, holding his beer, just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in that corner.
Not even looking at the same.
No, not at all.
Dude, that's a pretty serious guy too.
It was funny. It was funny.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So they were playing nudes
Yes.
on the table.
Yeah.
Nudes
Nice.
on top of nudes.
That lineup is sick though. That's crazy. Cherry Mantis, Nautilus, and you guys. Damn.
Yeah.
I just first listened to, got to see them live. Cherry Mantis at we did a.
Oh, the Donovan Malero
show. Yeah, so I got
Oh,
to see them there.
dude.
They're so fucking sick. They're so good.
They're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, like everyone in that band. I'm like,
It's so
oh,
crazy.
God.
Yeah, Michael Healy, he just graduated
God.
with his, the bass player. He
okay.
just graduated with his master's in jazz composition from
Oh.
UTA. That dude can fucking write a
Yeah.
song.
I've taken some lessons from him. To like be able to pick his brain bass wise is insane. Like it's really really crazy. He like has such a way of articulating notes. Like, but he can also like do runs. Like it's insane. I can't really explain verbally like how great of a musician he is.
I mean, it definitely shows. And then Gabe is also in that.
Yeah,
band, right?
Gabe's also in that.
Yeah,
band as
because I saw him playing that, and I was like, wait, like,
Yeah, I know.
I was like, playing everything.
There was one night where we played.
Oh,
We played first, and then Dream Feed, and then Cherry Mantis. And Gabe used to be in
Oh,
Dream
man.
Feed, which
Oh.
is another side project with Lewis and Justin.
Yeah.
So Gabe played with us, and then he played with Dream Feed, and then he played with Cherry Mantis.
Oh
Like, dude,
my
how do you keep
gosh.
this shit straight? And he's
Yeah.
like, honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen until the song starts.
Like, I don't know which song goes to which band
Right.
at this point.
There's like a point when he was like playing for like 5 groups. It was like last year or 2 years ago.
Because he was
Oh my
also
God.
playing guitar for Justin King's
Yeah.
solo stuff.
Okay.
He was playing. I think he played some stuff with group Nameless.
Yeah,
maybe?
he did. Like Asylum Media Group and Lottie and all of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was wild. He was so fucking tired.
Yeah.
I don't know how he kept track of all of it, but
Yeah.
he did.
That's exactly what we have with like my friend Ed, who does the same thing. Like literally at a time, he would be playing like for 5-6 bands, and it's just because they're like, "Hey, do you want to play with us?" And it's like, "Yeah." Like that's. I was like, "You
Yeah.
don't ever think about it?" And it's like, "Oh, I just want to play." Like,
Yeah.
like okay. But with him, we call him the Grim Reaper because like every band he's been in like has like broken up.
Oh,
Oh man,
dang.
damn, that's
Like ours was one of them because
Yeah.
he joined our band. Yeah, and then we died.
He
and
just
I
he
noticed,
shows up and he's
I
like, "Hey, guys,
it
these
was
guys are
so funny
slasher."
and like kind of heartbreaking when like I brought it up, and I'm like, hey, like we might have to start calling you the Grim Reaper because every band you've been in has broken up, right? And he like sat down. He's like, oh. And I'm like, oh no! Like I felt like I hit a nerve, and he didn't realize that yet, and he was like, yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, oh my gosh! But he's got 2 bands now that
Nice.
are solid as fuck. So like,
Good.
the curse is broken. I
Yeah,
believe,
nice.
so.
Just the Reaper, not the Grim Reaper.
Just the Reaper, not the Grim Reaper. He's in his past.
the regular Reaper.
He's the regular Reaper. He's changed his ways. He's not killing bands anymore. The release show sounds badass. Like honestly, that's gonna be hella fun. Caves has got a nice vibe to it.
Yeah.
I love any venue that's got a couch.
It's
Yeah.
also the first show we're like technically hosting.
Yeah,
so-
we've never headlined a show.
Yeah,
Oh really?
and like be our show. So it's really interesting to like the setup process and like getting all the bands together, finding the venue. It's been we have a great manager, so it takes a load off of us, but
Yeah.
it's definitely still really interesting to like be able to be the one to have to do all that.
Yeah.
We've been so lucky
Yeah.
through our year and a half of playing because we've never booked our own show.
Yeah,
Ever.
Oh, yeah.
Until now. We've just always been asked to play. And that's such a huge thing for us. It was kind of like a little bit of a point of pride.
Yeah.
People would... some coworkers of mine or some friends of mine would be like, "Hey, well, like, how do you go about setting up a show?" And I was like, "Dude, I have no fucking clue. Honestly, I'm sorry."
They tell me where to show up. And I'm
Yeah,
like-
exactly. But it's kind of like a new era. It's like kind of marking this era of us growing, like he said, gaining some more traction and hopefully playing some. And I don't even want to say bigger shows because it's not about playing the bigger shows, but just playing some shows for, more people. Playing at cooler venues. We want to break into Denton and we want to break into Dallas.
So you guys would kill out in Denton.
So playing with Phantomello, especially with him being Dallas based and just throwing badass shows out there. Like you said earlier, it's all about the connections. So we're just trying to make our connections everywhere so we can kind of grow the tree.
Which big shout out to Today Chaser. They were the first band that we played with. He used to work with Gabe, our other guitarist, he was the first person to invite us at Mass in Fort Worth. It was like our first like venue show, and like since that moment, like we've just kind of been super lucky to have been asked from other bands that just need people to play. But like I feel like that was like such a lucky moment to have like let us, and especially like Mass is a really good venue. It was a really great turnout. It was just like a good show.
Mass is one of those places like I've been to like several shows there, and they're like always like I just love the atmosphere. It's also one of those places that can be packed out and people just like go crazy. Like I've seen Meech Pan go there. I think the Unlikely Candidates I saw there.
Unlikely Candidates tomorrow. They put on some crazy shows.
That was fucking sick, and I'm like, this is fucking great. And those are like I think the first 2 shows that I went to at Mass were those 2. And they were like insane. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, speaking of being asked to play shows, like you guys are playing one of ours like next week, actually.
Big Loser.
Big Loser show.
I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be a great.
That should be fun.
Show.
That's just gonna be a fun time.
Yeah,
I love the post. The post is nice.
Oh, dude, playing there for the first time was really nice. It was like the sound was really great. You get like a really good view of everybody, and like you also get a good view of the band. Like so. You get a good perspective regardless.
Yeah, kind of wherever you are in that room, like you can kind of like still get a really good show. So I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that you guys said yes.
Hell yeah!
Did you just burp?
I did not.
Brian, what the fuck? God
damn
it! You gotta scrap this whole shit.
Fuck, man, my bad.
Damn, I was gonna say something about the post and I don't remember.
Post.
Good talk.
Drinks. Post.
Good time, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Zonkburger. Zonkburger's right next to it too.
Right next to
Zonk is delicious.
Zonk is great.
Yeah.
Love
them vegan burgers.
Man, vegan burgers. Are you vegan?
No, I'm not.
Cool. You just partake.
Yeah, part of my girlfriend's family is vegan, and she is vegetarian. So we try and branch out, see all the different places.
Zonk is a good one. Zonk is definitely a good one.
Very good one.
So you're banning Lemonade Stand, right? Yeah, almost Lemonade Standish. Okay. Lemonade Stand, I got you guys a gift because I feel like you guys need this. I feel like you guys need this to incorporate, Lemonade Stand. All right.
What?
You want to play rock paper scissors?
Now this show.
It's on 3. We're paying attention.
Entertaining.
One more. Okay.
Now the podcast makes no money, so this is very inexpensive.
Okay. All right.
And I hope this joke works.
Is it just a lemon?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Lemonade Stand. I bet you get people walking up all the time and asking for
grapes. Oh my god.
For grapes.
God damn it, Moa. Duck walks up to a lemonade stand, says to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum bum bum. Boo. Buy any grape?"
Man. Get it again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love grapes.
That damn lemon. I didn't. My friend used to tell me that story, and I didn't know it was a video of any kind. I just thought it was a random ass story that my friend would tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they would say it very nonchalantly in a very monotone sound, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And they wouldn't explain themselves. They never. Like, I'm like, what are you saying? No. And then they would just say it again until I think it was like about a year into like our friendship where they were like, here, and they sent me the link to the video. I'm like, this is the fucking thing. I'm like, I still don't get it, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I guess that makes you the duck? Wait, no.
I'm preparing you for the duck.
Oh, okay.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
we have the grapes.
You have the grapes now.
You get a good ASMR. Good lemonade ASMR.
Hey guys,
we're Lemonade Stand and we're grapes.
We are the grapes?
We are the grapes?
Let's see if I can get some ASMR rubbing grapes together.
Oh, dude.
Oh, get it in there.
All right, here we go. I don't think there's any sound.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the waves here. Hold on.
No, dude. I'll rub it in on you.
Them grapeophiliacs are getting hard on right now.
Dude, somebody is watching this going crazy. Like, oh.
It's like, finally, content for me. For someone, this is their fucking content.
Yeah, we need to make this paid. What are we doing?
Huh?
Paid content.
Oh, this is
paying
going on the premium section.
Oh, there we go,
yeah. After this, Brian's showing his butt. So stick around for that. Sign up for the. That was good. Have you seen those where like they do that and like it just goes straight to their throat and they start choking themselves? That's why I don't do that. Like, it's happened. I have tried it after I saw the video. Sour one?
Yeah.
I saw cotton candy grapes too. That's
Really?
Weird. Yeah, I didn't trust them. So
They're pretty damn good. Where I work at, they have them, and they're like really expensive.
Yeah, that's like almost $8 for a pack of cotton candy grapes.
oh my god,
Bunch of shit.
Yeah.
There's any.
Zenny. My cat Zenny is behind the camera, being mad because he's not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
He'll do it. He did it before you guys got here.
Yeah.
He literally sat up on a chair and was like on the mic because I always put him on there and he was
Nice.
just like sitting there. And I'm like, no, dude.
Get him to lick the microphone
No,
cover.
that's premium content.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fuck. Dope, man. I'm gonna sit here. I don't know what else to talk about. You guys have been a fun time. This is great.
Yeah.
Got some grapes.
Got some
Got
grapes.
some crazy show stories. Playing. When's your next metal show?
Right now.
Great question.
Right now.
Yeah, we're
Nice. Man, yeah, I'm. So, what the fuck? I have like 3 questions, and I don't know.
Good.
That's all good.
I don't know.
We can talk.
Any of them.
We can give good stories about each other, like other bandmates. I don't know if you have any good stories of Gabe. I know you probably do up Gabe.
I don't have any great stories off the top of my head about Gabe, but Brian does always tell a story during our set
Okay.
Oh,
at the most fucking inopportune time.
Yeah.
Gabe will start the intro to this song. It's a song called Nostalgia. It's got probably 30 seconds, 40 seconds of really nice, chill guitar intro. And about halfway through, Brian will start this story that takes like a minute and a half to tell. And so Gabe will literally not continue. Like, he'll get to the end of that intro, and he won't start the song until Brian finishes. So it's just like a minute straight of Brian telling the story. And a lot of times the payoff is either very minimal or really sad. The last one was about a
Holy
dead bird.
shit! Yeah.
oh, I remember the dead bird.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
What's your process for coming up with these stories?
You know, I'm a really shy person when it comes to like talking to people because I'm like afraid of like saying some stupid shit or just like freezing up.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm just like, I'm gonna see how awkward and uncomfortable I can make the situation.
it works well.
It works really well. So, I mean, obviously, when I'm in front of people, I'll be more inappropriate than when it's just us four. Because why not?
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty equally, but yeah. So I don't know. I just try to think of like really weird things that have happened in my life. Like the one before that, another.
Oh, so they're real.
Yeah, like they're real ones. Like
I thought you were making them
no,
up.
no.
One other one that like was really notable for me. My parents, I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Like my parents were like hella religious.
Wow. Okay.
And like I just wasn't with it when I was younger. I just hated like dressing up. I just hated going in general. I had nothing against it, but I thought I had to burp. Never mind. And so like
Let me make sure to get it on there.
So yeah. So then like I dressed up like in like really nice little tuxedo. I was a cute little motherfucker. And I remember I was like, hey, I need to go to the restroom. And I came out butt naked. Well, I maybe had underwear. I can't remember exactly, but I know definitely did not have like the sufficient amount of clothes.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, you're not having clothes on. And like I remember we were kind of like shunned for a little bit because
What?
yeah.
Wow. Hold
Like,
on.
And my parents like I remember like they were like, no, for a really long time because that's pretty bad. But no, they're like real stories. I'm trying to think of another one that's like I told. I don't even know how it started either. Like I just like was like fuck it.
Let me fill in time.
Let me get real close and just tell you a good story.
And you know what? You enjoy that though, and you might get one person every now and then. It's like, remember that dude? He says some crazy shit. Like this.
Yeah, as long as it's memorable.
That's true.
Hey,
all right,
little bitch.
Zenny being crazy over here.
That's all right. Did you
Yeah,
remember one of your three?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, big question.
They're completely gone. Yeah, my brains. I think I was just gonna talk since you play bass. I need to learn how to play bass. So I'm trying to start a band. And
oh, I should have gotten that one. Fuck.
Damn. See?
Sorry. I just didn't want to, while in front of Sam. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just literally the comment I think was just gonna be like, "Hey, you play bass? I want to play bass."
I also want.
That's it. Like that's it. Like that was gonna be the whole question.
We can do like bass, a segment of bass. So if I can, I'll start like, I'll give my introduction to like bass and music. So I actually started off as like I guess like a producer.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a good like while my musical, I guess you could say, interest started in like programming music. Dude, no way. Dude, that's started in like producing music.
Mm-hmm.
I was like really into like EDM. I know I give myself shit all the time, but like EDM music, and that's kind of how I started. And then I started high school in chem, and Gabe was actually like kind of, I wouldn't say integral, but he definitely helped me like play like more of like instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So I still feel like really new to that. I still feel really new to playing bass because I've only been playing bass for like maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
And I still feel like a beginner. So I don't really have any like good advice. I just say like find something you like and like play it.
Yeah.
But it goes like with anything. Like if you like metal, try just playing a shit ton of metal. I personally play a lot of like jazz and like jazz fusion and funk, just because like rhythm fascinates me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on what kind of bass player do you want to be, because
it's kind of interesting because like from being in a metal band for years, like I don't want to do that anymore. Like for some reason it like I switch flipped, and I'm like, which is probably why like I'm a really big fan of you guys. So now I'm like, they were like, what kind of music do you want to play? It's like, I want to make people dance. Like, and that's all I have. That's why like when we were talking about the genre talk, I'm like, that's what I would tell people. It's like, what kind of music do you want to play? I was like, stuff to make people dance. That's as much as I got. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what that is. Like, but it's definitely a lot softer. Like I said, like one of the points that I even joined the band was to sing. So I'm like, I want to sing a lot more. So like the concept that we have going is like just like a 3-piece where like drummer does vocals, like I do vocals, and then like a guitar player. And I'm like, oh, like that's all I want. Like I want to see what that dynamic kind of does. But that's why like a lot of stuff like what you guys do, the singing in it sounds really nice. Really like the music. You said too.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not a big fan.
But no, it's like really nice sounding. Again, it's very, it's a good time to listen to. Like that's as simple as it. Like I can describe it. I'm like I enjoy like just like being in it and listening to it. But I'm excited that you guys are putting out music.
Yeah.
I really am excited to hear that. The shows you have coming up, you have one with us next week. You have your release show coming up in Monday, which is going to be fucking fantastic. So, yeah. I have nothing else.
I will add that like it might be like a really small thing because we're still like a really like small local band, but it's still like a really big achievement for me, and I think for all of us like personally. I know Gabe's and Cherry Madison, they've released some stuff, but like and I'm sure it's special to him as well, but like it's just like a big accomplishment to like music that we came up with in a garage, in a sweaty ass garage, and we're like putting it out for people to listen to is like really great. Even if like nobody listens to it, it's still like for me like that's fucking crazy because it's music we made. We're putting it out there, and I mean hopefully people will listen to it and like enjoy it. But it's just like an accomplishment to put it out there.
Definitely, and I can definitely guarantee you that people are gonna listen to it. Like, absolutely. Like you guys, I feel like you guys have definitely grown. Like I mean, like I said, as far as like seeing you at one show and being as much as a fan like as I became, like that's everybody. Like even us when we were talking. Like my team and stuff at NoiseROT, like immediately we're like, yeah, like we need to start working with them like a lot more, like because we like really super enjoyed you guys.
Thank you.
But yeah, that accomplishment feeling is just nice because again that music was in your fucking brain and now it's like people are just like listening to it.
And it's out there forever.
Yeah, it's just
50 years from now somebody could listen to it and be like, man, I dig that.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, is the whole live stream thing still like up in the air, or can we talk about that?
Oh yeah.
If that's
Not yet.
we're allowed to talk about that.
Not yet, but it is something cool. Just because it hasn't officially all been announced
Okay.
yet. But that'll definitely, we have something that we're working on that'll be really cool with you guys. So that'll be super sick. And again, one of those is just because we immediately became like super fan, like big fans of you guys, and definitely like love everything you guys are doing. We will definitely be there to support everything you guys release. So send us anything that you want to. We run part of a reaction stuff too, so we can do that to push as much content as we can for you guys out.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
But yeah, definitely thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you, Sam, Ryan. The rest of the band is amazing. And listen to everything that they are about to have coming out. Okay, so and then release show. They have one show May 25th with us. They have with Big Loser and Bad Lives, and then June 25th.
Yep.
5th, the release show. That'll be super fun. You said Phantom Mellow and then Yasmin. That'll be sick. But yeah, man, stick around, listen to everything they got. We will keep you guys updated on anything they have coming out. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much for having us out.
Absolutely.
Plug our Instagram real quick. Official.stand.
Nope.
Nope.
You almost got it. You almost got it. Try it again.
Lemonade Stand ASMR. Official.lemonade.stand. Go follow us on Instagram. And listen to our stuff. And that's how you can keep up with our shows. Thank you so much. And if you need pictures of my belly button, that's separate. So hit me up at bellybutton.com. The cat is excited. Can you repeat that? Where do I get that? All right, we'll see you guys later.
That was good.
Past lives and past lives.